And we gon' bring you that dope.
And we gon' bring you that dope. It's Gator Beater, baby. Man, state to state, baby, coast to coast. Like the fire, baby, spark to Joe.
And we gon' bring you that dope.
Come talk with Erica, man, talk with G. And all you gotta do is talk with me.
And we gon' bring you that dope. And we gon' bring you that dope. And we gon' give you that dope. And we gon' bring you that dope.
Hey. What's up, people? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday.
What up, what up, what up, everybody? Welcome to the virtual congregation. How's everybody doing out there?
Yes. Welcome back to another Dope Discussions Live. If y'all notice anything different, y'all see my boy over there. He got a whole head of hair.
No, not a whole head of hair, because I was about, like I said, my line's still pretty lopsided. But like, I was born that way though. Like, I can't even say nothing about that. But even my son got the same hairline. That's how I can't even claim, oh, that's not mine. Nah, he got a diagonal going on his forehead too. So, hey,
what's up? Talk to Q, Quincy. Yeah, he got the baby fro.
Yeah, it's getting there. Get the little baby fro going on, you know.
It's getting now. It's my first time. You know, how long we been knowing each other? 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah. It's been a minute.
This is my first time I ever seen you with hair.
Right. It's been a minute since I decided to grow it. I did a little something with it, you know what I'm saying? You know, but hey, I
like it.
When I get to the point where it's like, oh man, you know what? I'm getting that James Evans thing going, right? Then I'm probably gonna go ahead and cut it. I told Nadine that I was like, man, look, if I get to the point where I'm looking like James Evans and I got that little bitty piece of hair in the middle, and then I got the whole
what you won't do,
right?
Do for love,
right? Man, look, then I'll be like, you know what? I can't do it no more. Can't do it. You know, but I was like, you know, hey, I miss having, you know, y'all know I used to have hair. I used to have hair. Like,
oh yeah,
you know,
one of these episodes we're gonna get you to put that that old driver's license in the camera so they can see you was the 5th member of Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Right, they call me Big Bone, Ham Bone,
Ham Bone. Yes. Well, welcome back to another Dope Discussions live show. Y'all, we got another dope discussion, conversation for y'all. Tonight, we're going to be talking about marriage. Marriage. And while so many women of today's time are deciding they don't want to get married.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic, and it's because you look at the dynamic that you see online right now with it's almost like it's a male versus female thing,
Mm-hmm.
and this is one of those topics that gets bantied around all the time. Is it a scenario where women aren't able to get married, or is it just that they don't want to get married? So that's a big topic of discussion online. Hey, we're gonna touch on it.
Yeah. So I wanted to start out by asking you, what is your personal opinion? What do you think the reason is why a lot of women today are deciding they don't want to get married? And I noticed there's a lot of women who actually speak against marriage. So what's
Yeah.
your personal
Yeah.
opinion? What do you think that reason is?
So I think there's a number of different reasons for it, right? I think that our society is changing. The dynamics in society are changing, right? A lot of women now have the financial ability, financial freedom to sustain themselves. So they have an option, whereas there were men back in the 50s and 60s and 70s that decided, hey, I don't want to get married. And there were a lot of single men who were single until they were married and they could go play the field and do whatever because they had the financial ability to do so. Now women have that same financial ability to do so. As a matter of fact, it's in scores now that they have that ability to do it. So they have the option of whether or not to deal with someone or not. It's not always, well, you need a man for this or you need a man for that. They don't now. It's
Mm-hmm.
they're financially stable. Another reason I should say that I think it's happening more prevalently now is because our generation specifically were witness to that last generation of the neediness of the woman on the man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whole dynamic in the when we were growing up. I'm a 70s baby, technically an 80s baby because there was only 1 year
Mm-hmm.
that I was in the 70s. But that whole dynamic that we were coming in right on the end of the dynamic where you had to have a man in the house, you had to have a two-parent household, and we got to see some pretty um strange things. We
Mm-hmm.
talk about it sometimes when we talk about some of the songs that used to be out there, where the women were letting themselves get mistreated just because they needed that stability of having a man there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it was all over the songs back then. Don't blame Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie is just a man.
Yeah.
you know, you wanna sit there and deal with all these things. That's just what men do. That's just what men do. Well, now women have the option of saying, "Oh, well, if that's what men do, then I don't want to get married. I don't want to sit there and subject myself to the same thing my mama subjected herself to, that my grandmother subjected herself to. Now I have the freedom to say, you know what? I can pick and choose the situation that I want to be in."
Yeah. So there's a lot of layers to it. There's a lot of,
Oh yeah.
well, I know every individual has their own individual reasons, but the collective group of women that I've been hearing, a common theme is that, like you said, it's not really based on finances anymore. So more women now are looking for an actual partner in
Hmm.
life. They want someone who's equal, not only in earning money, but they want someone to equally share the load of raising the children emotionally, mentally, and physically. They want a partner who is present and is active in making decisions in the marriage and in the household,
Hmm.
not someone who's just bringing in the money and
Right.
leaving all of the decisions up to her. Um, I also hear a lot of women say that um, they're looking for someone who's more in tune with their emotions, more emotionally intelligent, um, someone who, is, as society likes to say, more in
Mhm.
tune with their feminine side.
Right, right.
Um, and they're not finding that because the generation that we were raised in, men were raised to be the provider and protector, and all that other
Yeah,
stuff was on
yeah,
the woman.
yeah,
And so now this new generation is saying that we don't want that anymore.
yeah.
And we need y'all to catch up to where we are now, what we want. And a lot of women are being very disappointed out in the dating world and finding out that there's very limited choices in men who are going to provide that emotional intelligence, emotional availability, and all that stuff that we're asking for now. And the men are like, hold up, wait a minute. Y'all changing the game too quickly. Give us some time to catch up to what y'all asking for now. Because
Right.
it's different what y'all asking for, and it takes a lot of undoing of programming to get to that point. And so I feel like there's a disconnect in that middle ground where women are asking for this, men are like, no, we're not going to give y'all that. Y'all need to go back to being like our grandmas was and staying at home and taking care of these kids and let me bring this money home. And the women are like, no, bro, I don't want that.
Yeah, there's a
I got
lot of
my own money.
yeah, there's a lot of that out there. And but here's the thing with that too. There's a lot of men who act that way because that's how they were raised. That's how they were taught. Like I said, especially our generation, right? We were right on the edge of that, where our uncles and the men in our family was still telling us, "Hey, y'all need to make sure that y'all are providers. Y'all need to make sure y'all are this." And so that's what was programmed into a
Mm-hmm,
lot of these men, right? So what happens when you take a computer that's programmed to, let's say for instance, you got a robot that's programmed to fold clothes. And then
mm-hmm,
you take that robot to the kitchen and put them in front of the sink and say, okay, wash dishes. Well, that robot ain't gonna know what to do because he was programmed to wash, to fold clothes. So
mm-hmm.
it does, like you said, it's gonna take a bit of unprogramming for a lot of men to catch up to that expectation too. The other
Mm-hmm.
thing that I was thinking about too is that some of it is sheer numbers, right? Some of these men that are emotionally available, who have kind of caught on, they getting snatched
Yeah.
real quick. So they've always had that number. I think it's what women outnumber men in the country like 4-1 or something like that. Um, so it's like if you getting those ones that are actually pretty good, you're getting them snatched up. Then now you really left with the unprogrammed robots that's sitting at the sink. And they don't know what to do. So what are they gonna do? They gonna start saying, well, this ain't what I'm supposed to be doing. This ain't what I'm here for. I'm
Mm-hmm.
here to provide. I'm here to do this, 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 this. So when women start saying that we need you to be more emotionally available, they have no clue what that actually entails them doing.
Yeah.
The crazy part about that is a lot of these men were raised in families that have the dynamic of not a two-parent household, but like a single mother household, right? Where the mother in that household kind of imparted on them what a man should be based on what that mother needed a man to be for them.
Mm-hmm.
So they go out in the world and they think, okay, well, this is how I need to be, because my mama said that I need to make sure that I'm providing for this woman. I'm making sure I'm taking care of everything. And some of them forget the emotional impact of what it means to be in a healed relationship or to be with a healed person.
Yeah. So I got this. I took some some information from a few articles that I was reading about the subject, about people who were doing some research on why women of today are deciding against marriage and saying, it's not really something um, that they're working towards. It's not one of the goals in their life anymore. Some women are saying they could take it or leave it. Some women are just against it totally. But this is an article that lists a number of reasons that women have cited as reasons why they don't view marriage as desirable anymore. Number one, it makes them less happy over the long term to put other people's needs above their own.
Gotcha.
Most women are raised and taught that you should be self-sacrificing in the role of wife and mother. Everybody else comes first. And more women are saying, that doesn't sound good to me. That's not desirable to me. I don't want to put other people ahead of myself anymore.
Exactly. I take that one step further. While we're talking about the fact that a lot of women don't want to get married for that reason, that's also the reason that a lot of women now don't want to have kids. Is for that same sentiment. Is that, okay, now all of a sudden I have to change my dynamic to essentially serve my kids and serve as a mother and to raise people, and I have to put these people above, put their desires and their wishes and their dreams before I put mine. And while it sounds selfish, at the same time, it's just factual. I mean, you live for self gratification. You want to have, or at least women now and men too, they want to be able to say, okay, I did things what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it, and I didn't have to worry about being concerned with how everybody else feels about it.
And I think I applaud any woman who consciously knows she doesn't want to have kids. She knows that she doesn't have the desire to want to put herself last in many situations in life. I applaud any woman who knows that about herself and makes the decision to not have children, because there's a bunch of people on this earth who have them and they still don't have the desire to put their children first.
That is true.
I applaud the people who actually took the steps to say, I don't want to bring kids on this earth when I know that I'm not going to, rear them and nurture them and give them the attention that I know they probably would deserve. So I'm not going to have any. And our society doesn't do that to men. When men decide they don't want to have kids, it's just, okay, it's cool. But when a woman actually has a voice and speaks out and says that I don't have the desire to have kids, society beats her down and says something must be wrong with you.
Right, exactly. And the crazy part about it, when I see that discourse online, a lot of times it's coming from other women, where they're like shaming women for not having kids.
And it's crazy to me. It's like, I would never shame a woman who doesn't want to have kids or doesn't have kids, because I've dealt with resentment towards motherhood myself as a mother. And any woman on this earth who says that every moment of every day as a mother that you never wanted to put yourself first above your kids, I would call her a liar.
Yeah.
Because it's just not possible.
Right. Not only is it not possible, but it's not even realistic.
No, it's human nature. There are going to be times where there's going to be something that you want to do, and there's going to be an issue where you have to put your child first, and you don't want to make that choice, but you know you have to make that choice because you brought these kids into this world.
Right.
So you're going to have to do that. Another reason that women cited they didn't feel like marriage was desirable is because it weakens their relationships with their family and friends. They have to
Mm.
put their relationships with their family and friends onto the side or onto the back burner in order to nurture their marriage.
Mm.
And a
Yeah.
lot of women feel like they have a strong support system in family and friends, and they don't want to have to sacrifice those relationships.
Right, right, right. And now, here's the crazy part about that. You don't necessarily end up seeing a lot of scenarios with men where they do that.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the reason why is because most men are, they're maybe not as attached to their friends in that way. But
Mm-hmm.
many times, the one caveat to that is when you get you a good old mama's boy who, everything that mama say,
Yeah.
I'm right there with her. And that happens a lot. That's the one thing that I can say is a caveat to that, is that a lot of men, if they feel that way, it's because of that reason. Because they don't want anybody getting in between their relationship with them and their mom, you
Yeah.
know. But a lot of women do have that strong family structure. They have, their friends are you know are there, and they're ever present. So sometimes they don't want to sacrifice that for a relationship, or to be in a relationship, or to be in a marriage. The issue with that is, if you are sacrificing, if you feel like that big of a sacrifice, then I think you have to evaluate the romantic relationships and the friendship
Yeah.
relationships, because I have seen online a lot of that discourse as well. Oh well, she got her little boyfriend now, so she don't come around no more.
Mm-hmm.
And let me, and it's almost like the friends have that vitriol towards the relationship, and because that woman doesn't want her friends to turn on her and feel some type of way, because she's, and goes back to the whole self-serving thing,
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact that she doesn't want her friends to turn on her, because she's trying to have that romantic relationship, something to fulfill her. She will push that relationship away
Mm-hmm.
to be, make sure her friends that have been there before this person's been there, make sure that they are happy and that they are, secure. So it goes both ways. You have to be careful with that. Like I say, evaluate those relationships as you go.
Yeah. This one is this one hit home for me. Husbands create 7 additional hours of housework per week for their wives.
So this one I don't know about, right?
I
This,
know about it.
yeah. So here's one of the things that I was speaking to Nadine about before, and to be completely honest, me personally, I've always been that type of person who likes to, I like to cook, like to
Mhm.
clean. I'll be the first one to throw some clothes in the wash, and let's go ahead and do it, because I was, raised to do that. And I'm cognizant that, I'm looking for a partner, not a maid. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people that get into marriages with the old school mentality, or at least they've been ingrained with that whole propaganda behind of what a marriage should be. The woman should be cleaning, she should be cooking, those gender roles, right? She should
Mhm.
be doing all those things. So I think one of the reasons that a lot of women don't get married in that scenario isn't because their partner will do it. It's because there's been a history of partners doing it in the past. So
Yeah.
they don't want to put themselves in a position to be like, each marriage dynamic should be different. There is no cut and dry way that a marriage should be. But a lot of women are influenced by people outside saying, oh, well, you need to do this in a marriage. You need to do that in a marriage. girl, if that man ain't helping you clean the house, you better throw some clothes on his. But don't wash his clothes for about 2 weeks and see what happens. You
And
don't cook for a couple weeks and see what happens.
yeah, but that's gonna cause a whole, there's gonna, he's gonna be like, well, you've been doing it, why you stop doing it? And it's just
Yeah. These are conversations you
the
need to
way
have
you
before you get married.
right. The way you started off is
Mm-hmm.
how it's gonna end up. So
Yep.
if those expectations have not been set forth at the beginning,
Right.
and you want to switch it up, then that's another conversation.
Right. That's a whole nother can of worms right there.
Yeah. Now, this article from Psychology Today, it cites that most women most women who have been married before
Mm-hmm.
cite that they were happier after their divorce than they were during their marriage.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see that. You know what though? If you poll somebody who was in a divorce, that's what they're gonna say. There's a reason they're divorced.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason that they're divorced. It's because during that time they were unhappy. There was something going on there that made them unhappy.
Yeah. I know from personal experience, I celebrated my divorce
Oh yeah, me too.
more than I did my wedding
Me too.
day. It
Me
was a
too.
party.
Right,
But
exactly. Me too.
that testament to just being with the wrong person, and
Yeah.
just being in a bad marriage. I don't think all marriages are bad, but I think the idea of marriage and the way it's been presented to us as a whole in society is that the woman is supposed to be the glue that holds it together, and to it's been sold to women that getting married and becoming a wife is your ultimate prize.
Right,
And
right.
now women are saying that I don't see the prize in that. And I was thinking back myself when I was married. I saw my husband benefit from our marriage 10 times more than I did. I saw his status change in life. I saw him get more opportunities in life.
Mm.
And it was a sense, I think our society has this automatic respect that we give people when they say I'm married.
Yeah.
There's a different level of respect that people give you when they know that you're married, or when you say you're a husband or somebody's wife. There's a
Right.
different level of respect that people give you for that title.
Mm-hmm. It's a sign of stability. Like even on your car insurance, which is crazy. On your car insurance, if you look married,
Mm-hmm.
it's seen as a sign of stability, and they will lower
Mm-hmm.
your rates because
Mm-hmm.
you're married.
Yeah, and I've always felt like that. I've always felt like a lot of marriages are simply for status.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people get into marriages, they overlook all of the red flags and all of the reasons why they shouldn't marry a specific person, but they want the benefits of the status symbol of saying I'm
Right.
married, or I'm a married person, I'm somebody's husband, or I'm somebody's wife. And I can admit I was in that category. I felt like I wanted that, that respect, that status, that title. But
Mm-hmm.
it came at a bigger price that I wasn't prepared to pay
Right.
in
Right.
the end, and
Right.
it wasn't worth it.
Exactly. I think we have to be aware in society that the whole dynamic and reasoning for marriages have changed. I mean, we don't like to say that. We like to think of today's news as being yesterday's news, and that being older than that. We like to think that the last 1,000 years, everybody's been, married because you needed a partner that was emotionally available and all those types of things. There was a time when literally, oh well, I'm gonna have a child, and my child is promised to this person, and we're gonna be raising her to be a wife for the next 16 years, and when she makes 16, that man is gonna take her as wife. That was a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it happened a lot in African culture as well, where there was no, oh, we're gonna meet and we're gonna fall in love and we're gonna, no, I mean, your whole purpose was to clean up the house and have my children, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have to know you
Yeah.
like that. We don't even have to talk about it. Heck, let me you know how they used to do in Zamunda.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing there. But that was the dynamic then. We're in a changing dynamic. So now we have to be more cognizant of that, and we have to change how we think about finding a mate, as well as the whole thought of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
We're not looking for the person who's going to be able to support us financially or one of those things, because now we have some financial security on both sides of the line, on male and female. Now we're looking for more. What's going to This is evolution, is what it is. What's
Yeah.
going to serve my emotions? What's going to serve our kids as they get older? Are you going to be a good parent to them? Are you going
Mm-hmm.
to give them the emotional support so they can be part of this evolution that society is taking too?
Yeah. Wow. And I don't know if you one most women, married women, um die by the hands of their domestic partner. That's
Mm,
a statistic that most the highest rate of murders committed
yeah,
against women is by a domestic partner husband.
right.
So that was another factor, another reason on the list
Mm,
that women cited as marriage not being desirable. Domestic violence was one of those reasons.
right, and that's one of the scariest,
Yeah.
because um, you know we like to think that those types of scenarios are easy to get out of, but I know people who have been in you know relationships that were you know a part of that statistic,
Yeah.
that have been, they dealt with domestic violence for years.
Yep.
And as easy as it is for me or for you or anybody to say, yeah, hey, just get up and walk away, it's sometimes
No,
it's not that.
it
It's not.
ain't. It
And
ain't
I can
that
see
easy.
why some women would be afraid that, okay, if I get in this particular type of relationship and I'm in love with this person and we get married, what if he changes? Or,
Hmm.
and that becomes the thing. All I could say is that, you know, women, if you're looking for a partner, kind of look for those signs. There are, you know, those control issues, things like that, that you could kind of see as red flags to be like, I don't want to put myself in position to be a statistic.
Yeah. Yep. And it is unfortunate to say, but a lot of times, abusive men, they view that marriage license as legal ownership of their partner.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I own you. I gave you my last name. You got my kids. I take care of this house. I pay these bills. You're not going nowhere.
Right, right, right. And just for the men right quick, and I know we're focusing on why women don't want it, don't want to get married, but just for the men right quick, because I just thought about this. if you are dealing with someone, because I've been in this situation before and I've seen other people be in this situation before. If you're dealing with someone who is very much geared towards that type of behavior, if they're abusive to you, or if they want you to be abusive to them, if they're pushing buttons intentionally to try to have it happen, then that's something you definitely need to back away from. I've been in that situation before where I literally had someone tell me, if you don't hit me, you don't love me. And that type of behavior is more prevalent than I thought it was.
That ain't the kind of love I want.
Nope, not at all.
And then we have to be aware, because my mom was a victim of domestic violence, physical violence. And so by me knowing that, I always said I would never accept that from a man. I would never allow a man to put his hands on me. But while I was so focused on that, I missed the signs of emotional abuse, verbal abuse, which is a lot of times more damaging than the physical abuse, because you don't really realize it's happening until you're beat down so far. I was in several emotionally, mentally, verbally abusive relationships, but in my mind, it was normal. It's just the normal back and forth and ups and downs of relationships. All people go through this. Until I knew better. But that can be just as harmful and damaging as physical abuse. And
even more.
It lives with you a lot longer, because once those scars heal on your body, or once you bruise and it heals, you don't see it anymore. But you still have those mental scars in your head, and it replays in your mind all over again. And anything can trigger you to where you're right back in that moment again. And I know that happens with physical abuse too, because if somebody gets too aggressive with you, you think they're getting ready to hit you like the person did in your relationship. And so all of that stuff is damaging. It takes a long time to heal from it. But you just have to learn to trust your own intuition. When it don't feel right from the beginning, but you want to go past that feeling because you like this person so much, or they're so nice to you, or they're so attractive, or y'all have great sex, or every now and then we get into it, but then we get over it and we're right back to lovey-dovey and all that stuff. Don't ignore that stuff.
Not at all. I mean, the problem with a lot of the physical abuse is that you can see it. You can see the black eyes. You can see that. I mean, physical abuse will break bones, right? But emotional abuse will break your soul, and there's no cast for your soul. And so you have to just deal with the damage, as opposed to, there's nothing that you can put on to protect, like you can a cast on your arm, or you can't put salve on your soul that you can put under your eye. It's a completely different thing. So that's something that, and a lot of people don't even realize it's happening. It comes because, like you said, sometimes they just think, oh, this is just normal relationship stuff, and it doesn't help that you see these images on TV all the time, and you're thinking, oh, this is, how relationships are just supposed to be. And in actuality, it's really not. If you look at some of those sitcoms back from the 90s, I think we were looking at Martin one time, and we were looking at, the relationship with Gina and Martin. It was like, they got some toxicity going on up in here.
Well, it was all fun and games. It was
but we've been laughing at it. But at the same time, it's like, dang, if this was happening right now, wow, that would be a problem.
And also for young people, I would love for you to understand that marriage is not a magic switch. Marriage does not change people.
Nope.
I learned that the hard way. I thought, well, if he wants to marry me, then he must want to do better. If he wants to marry me, then that means he's ready to change.
Yeah.
Once we get married and he's going to do better. He's going to stop doing the things he's been doing and we're going to get it together. I got more of the same of what I was getting before the marriage, and it got some of that stuff got worse.
Yeah.
Because when you're in an abusive relationship, a person is cheating on you, lying to you, disrespecting you, and you think that he's going to magically stop doing all of that when you get married, you're sadly mistaken. What really happens is once they marry you, now they feel like I've given you what you wanted. Now don't bother me because I'm going to do what I've been doing because you've been putting up with it.
Right. Exactly.
I've given you the wedding ring. I've given you the marriage. Now don't bother me while I do what I do.
Exactly, and that's the problem with a lot of those is that with that situation a lot is that people think that marriage is going to be the magic fix it. Like we got problems in our relationship and we having all kinds of we catching hell on both sides, but when we get married, that's going to magically cure everything, and that's a dang lie.
And it's not going to make all of the people that was so attractive to him or so attracted to him. It's not going to make them back away from your man.
Nope, not at all.
They don't care.
As a matter of fact, it might make it worse.
Right. He becomes more attractive. And I saw that in real time. Some of the people who wouldn't give him the time of day before we got married, in their mind, oh, he's married now. Oh, let me see how strong that marriage really is. Let me see if he really turned over a new leaf and gonna be faithful. I bet you he not.
Right, exactly. Some people they want to taunt it.
They want to test it.
If I can get him,
and then throw it in your face.
So
please don't go to thinking that the marriage is going to change anything.
No, not at all.
It's not.
It is not.
All. We got off on a tangent. We was talking about something else, but it was good anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really, as a woman myself, who's been married twice, I'm not going to say I would not want to get married again. I've always said I would try it one more time, but it's not like it was when I'm in my 20s when I just had to be married and I just had to have it.
Right.
I'm at this point now where
yeah, exactly. But the one thing I will say is that for people out there who are our age and who are have gone through a couple of marriages before, don't let that dull your excitement once you find the right partner. The big thing is when you find the right partner, being with that person, it's not about the actual piece of paper. It's about making that lifetime commitment to that person. And that part is the part to get excited about. Not necessarily the little word marriage and not the piece of paper that you're going to sign, but it's the fact that you're committing and getting that commitment from this person that you want to be with. And the great part about it is that our age and at this stage, we're the expectation is that we're trying to, be our best healed self, finding somebody who is their best healed self, Back when we was younger and we was doing it, and that wasn't exactly how it was going down.
Sure, back when we was younger, we was addicted to the toxicity. We was addicted to the highs and the lows. We was addicted to playing hard to get. We was addicted to, the guys that all the girls wanted, and we wanted to be the one to make him settle down. We was addicted to all the toxic stuff that the younger generation right now, they probably feel the same way about love that we felt when we was their age. So
There's some guys who there's some youngsters out there who be like, yeah, I gotta get me a city girl.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be like, bruh.
They want to take a city girl and change her into a housewife.
Right.
You want
Right.
to take a thug out off the street corner and make him into a husband.
Exactly.
And not that doesn't work. You have to meet somebody where they are. If you want somebody who wants to be a husband, you have to meet somebody who wants to be a husband. You can't take somebody who's not living that life and see if you can convert them into being something. That's an issue within you where you feel like you need to change or fix somebody.
Right. Exactly.
That means there's an issue with you. And it's not really about that person. It's about why do you feel like you need to take somebody who's not doing what you want them to do and you want to make them do it.
Exactly. Don't try to change abracadabra people out here. You know, if they thugging, let them thug.
Yep.
Let them do what they do.
Because when I look back now and I'm like, what was I attracted to? What was it?
Toxicity. That's what it was.
Yes. Well, thank you all for joining us for another Dope Discussions Live Tuesday night. We're going to keep saying that Tuesday night. Get it in your head. We're on Tuesday nights. No longer on Sunday. So what I had to do, I had to chop up our intro and take that Sunday out.
Right.
It started.
I was messing with some stuff earlier this week. I'm gonna let you hear some of it when we get off air, but
okay. Well, then again, we'll see y'all next Tuesday. Same time, same place. Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yep. Peace out.